It is Locked On NBA Game Night for the night of Wednesday, December 10th. On today's show, the Thunder match the 2016 Warriors for the best start in league history. But can they do something that those Warriors couldn't do? Plus, the NBA Cup's Final Four is set. Let's jump in.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
All right, welcome to Locked On NBA Game Night. Every game, every night. Thank you for making Locked On NBA your first listen every day. I'm Wes Goldberg. Joining me as he does every Wednesday night, it's Tony East. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. We'll talk about the Spurs beating the Lakers and look ahead to the next round of the NBA Cup in a second, but let's start in Oklahoma City, where the Thunder blow out the Suns. They led by as many as 50 points in this game. This thing was over pretty quickly, Tony. They were up 20 by the end of the first quarter. They were up by, 82 to 48 or something to start the third quarter. They led by as much as 50 points in this one. They tie the 2015-16 Warriors for the best start through 25 games in league history. Here's more from Locked On Thunder host Rylan Stiles.
Oklahoma City Thunder dominate the Phoenix Suns, and they go 24-1 to start this season, tying the Warriors for the best 25-game start in NBA history. The Thunder extended their franchise-long winning streak to 16 games, and they advanced to the Vegas semifinal, going to Vegas in the NBA Cup for the second straight season, looking to avenge last year's Cup championship loss to the Bucks. It was SGA who was just special in this game. The Thunder get their biggest lead of the season in the third quarter, thanks to Shai, who had 28 points in 28 minutes and was just unstoppable in this contest. And you saw in the second quarter, the Thunder's secondary scoring lineup really struggled. It let the Suns trim a 20-plus point lead down to 13, but ultimately SGA put it away, and J-Dub and Chet also had great games. J-Dub having 15, Chet Holmgren with 24. This was a big three moment for OKC and a big win on the scoreboard after having the Suns take them down to the wire in the last timeout. The Thunder get a blowout win. More on Lockdown Thunder.
Tony, let's zoom out before we zoom in. Can the Thunder beat the Warriors' 73-9 record?
Yes. Oh, yes. I mean, they are not winning every game. They are crushing everybody. I mean, it's not like this game. They were at 53 at one point, like you said. Shai played 27 minutes. It's like, and they won by 50 points. The fourth quarter is just like Usman Jang and Brandon Carlson time every night. And they don't even have Isaiah Hartenstein, and guys are in and out all the time for them this year. Everybody knows how much J-Dub's played, but like it's not very much. They just are absolutely rocking everyone right now. Their net rating says that this is maybe the best team ever, and they have been hurt a lot. They haven't really had their full group, and they don't play fourth quarters enough that they're really managing minutes by just default. It is totally possible to me that they could reach that height, because we had the night that they lost to Portland. That was a last second free throws game. Like, you have to play perfect to get to that against them. They've just been unbelievable.
The Usman Jang victory cigar, like, can we even call it a victory cigar if it's happening every game? Like, the only thing that can stop the Thunder is lung cancer because of all the victory cigars that they're smoking right now. It's crazy what's going on with this team. They not only can they break this Warriors record of 73 wins, they could do it without even trying, it seems like. And maybe that's doing a disservice to what the Thunder are actually doing, right? They are playing really hard, and it is one of their skills, but it doesn't really seem like they're going after it. They don't talk about themselves in these terms. And frankly, even on the outside looking in, there isn't some historic player that we think of on this team. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to get there with the way that he's on, but like even the way we talk about Kevin Durant or Steph during those Warriors years, it was just a little bit different than how we talk about Shai. This team is still somehow flying under the radar in a way that we don't think about them in terms of record-breaking material, and yet they might just do it anyway. What are you seeing from this team? What did you see in this game against Phoenix, for instance, and what makes them so dominant?
You have to go 49-8 the rest of the way. That's that like sounds very feasible. First of all, when you say it out loud, Dude, no one can score against them. Like, I know Devin Booker didn't play, and it's the same thing you say about the Thunder every night. Like, if you are at a computer or have a second on your phone, like, go look at the NBA advanced stats, sort by defensive rating, and just laugh at how far ahead of everyone else they are. I mean, it's the same analysis everybody says about the Thunder because it's true. You can't score. Everyone is in hell all night for their opposing team. Shout out to Dylan Brooks for leading the Suns in scoring with 16 points on 16 shots. That was their best score. And they're like, you can't do anything. You don't get space. You turn it over 20 times like the Suns did in this game. If you don't shoot it at least pretty well, you're just toast because their offense is, like everybody always says, the weakness of the Thunder is their half-court offense. And it's like 7th or 8th in the league. And their defense in transition game is just so amazing that you have to shoot well to keep up, or you have to find a way to get stops, and you just can't. They're so good at everything.
I'm watching this game and I'm just trying to think, what is something interesting I could say about this team? To your point, it's the same analysis over and over. We know how good this defense is. It was amazingly, laps ahead of everybody last year. Ditto for this year. If anything, it's even better. Chet Holmgren has leveled up, especially on the defensive end. They've got guys like Cason Wallace defensively doing things that he wasn't doing last year. He was good last year. He's doing things that he wasn't even doing last year. Now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been good defensively. They got Jalen Williams back. They're doing this without Isaiah Hartenstein for the last week or so. It's just crossing half court against the Oklahoma City Thunder is like being lowered into a pit of alligators. They're just going to be nipping at you over and over and over again. And just everywhere you look, there's something scary. And it's just everything you do. And what really stands out to me about this team, I mean, first of all, in this game, 14 steals for 34 points off of turnovers in this game. But what really stands out to me about watching this Thunder defense is their activity level. They are always moving, right? And it's not just chaos for the sake of chaos. It is definitely like a controlled chaos, but they're always moving. They're always stunting. They're always trying to get a hand into your dribbling lane or wherever it is. Sometimes it doesn't result in anything. Sometimes it results in a deflection, which leads to a turnover. But they're always moving, and
yep.
Most defenses react. They really try to dictate what's happening on the defensive end because they're always moving. And by the way, they're always moving. They are rarely out of position. They're in control of everything, but they're going to make sure that you're not going to get to the things that you want to get to.
Can I give you your interesting Thunder storyline to track now?
Okay.
When will Chet or J-Dub lose a game? Chet did not play in their loss to Portland, so he is now 21-0 this year, and J-Dub has only been played for 5, 6, whatever it is games. He has also obviously not lost yet. They're probably both all-stars this year. Not J-Dub won't be because he missed so much time. Like, when are they going to lose? Because it's so fun to do the schedule thing with them because everybody's like, oh, this game could be hard. This one is like, no, they're so much better than everybody. There is no hard stretch of their schedule, right? Like, it's just crazy.
They're 16-8 against the spread.
Yeah.
And all these spreads are like 12 points. Like they're favored by double digits in every one of these games.
I feel bad for Phoenix that they have this awesome season and Gillespie's playing well and they don't get Booker for this game and they get on this big stage and just get mollywopped. It's sad. They've been playing really well.
Let's talk about the Suns, who are on the other side of this beatdown. Here's Ben Garcia from Locked On Suns with more.
Suns fall a lot to a little against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Benjamin Garcia, Locked On Phoenix Suns. Let's discuss this game. So I think this game, as a reporter, as a media member, says a lot about you. Whether you think the sky is falling because your team is currently down, as the game is on right now, by 50, or you're someone that you're like, you kind of find it kind of funny, and that's kind of where I'm at tonight. The Suns have been very amusing to watch all year. They've been hard-nosed. They've made it suffocating for opposing teams defensively, and they have been a thorn in the side of most teams. And the Suns just didn't follow the game plan tonight. And Oklahoma City will do that to you. They'll make you throw out your entire playbook and just say, all right, start shooting threes. We're down by a lot. And at the beginning of this game, immediately, Oklahoma City got out in transition, forced some timely turnovers, and started this game up like 13-2. And you can't play from behind, especially when you're down two of your top at least 4 players in Jalen Green and Devin Booker in this game. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, or the Suns are a lot like the Oklahoma City Thunder. Unfortunately, the Oklahoma City Thunder also play really, really hard and are really are really good defensively. And they also have the shot makers offensively. It's not a bad loss for the Suns. Sometimes you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball, and if the Suns are a ball, then the Thunder are Barry Bonds and knocked it 450 yards or 450 feet all the way out of the park. So
No,
Suns
Yards
lose
was
tonight.
right.
Credit to the Thunder.
Yards is right. Is this
Yar-
just the way
Yards
teams
was
should
correct.
respond? This is the way teams should respond to losing to the Thunder now? Just laughing?
Especially if you're not a contender. Just laugh. Okay. They're a lot better than us.
That's
It is
the,
what it is.
That's the
Shout out
bar.
that
It's-
Heat legend, by the way, Jean-Marie Bouye. Look at him go, dude. That guy can play.
He can't play. He's got a little shake and bake to his game. I like him. Huge win for the Spurs on the road in our other NBA Cup game for after this Thunder game. The Spurs are going to face the Thunder in the next round of the NBA Cup. We'll talk about that next. Today's episode of Locked On NBA Game Night is brought to you by Game Time. The World Cup is coming back to North America for the first time since 1994. And with 48 teams for the first time ever, it's going to be massive. But let's be honest, getting tickets is usually the hardest part. That's why the Game Time app is clutch, finally giving fans a real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. With Game Time, you can track price drops in real time, get alerts when great seats open, and buy tickets the moment they hit the app. It puts the power back in your hands and makes going to the World Cup realistic instead of impossible. You pull up the app, the layout makes it so simple to scroll through the matchups and compare seat views, pick a game, tap a section, and have your seats locked in within minutes. No confusion, no hunting for fine print. The seat view feature is a game changer. You literally see what the pitch looks like from your exact seat before you buy your tickets. Prices include fees up front, which I love, no last second surprises at checkout, and alerts for teams and matches make it easy to grab tickets the moment they drop instead of missing out. Take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets and every match, concert, or event with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the app, make an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go with Game Time. Today's episode is brought to you by Quo. New year, new systems, and this is the time when a lot of us look at the messier parts of running a business and think, there's got to be a better way, and there is. Today's episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Q-U-O, the smarter way to run your business communications. If you're ready to make your workday smoother and keep customers connected without headaches, Quo makes upgrading your setup easier than ever. A streamlined system makes such a big difference when communicating with customers. Having calls, texts, and voicemails in one clean view keeps everything organized and helps you stay responsive. Being able to share one team number makes it so much easier to make sure nothing gets missed. The AI summaries and call logging can feel like having an assistant keeping track of every detail. It's surprisingly easy. You can work from your phone or your computer, keep your existing number, and add teammates in minutes. Make this the year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free, plus get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/LockedOnNBA. That's Quo, Quo.com/LockedOnNBA. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. Thanks again for making Locked On NBA Game Night your first listen every day. The best way to support the show, like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on your podcast app. Lakers lose to the Spurs in our second NBA Cup game for the night. Let's talk about the Lakers first, Tony. Most people are talking about how the Lakers are still figuring out the fit between Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves. I'm more concerned about their defense. They gave up 132 points to a good San Antonio Spurs team, but that's a lot of points. They entered the game with the 21st ranked defense in the league. Here's more from Locked On Lakers.
This is Andy Kamenetsky, co-host of the Locked On Lakers podcast, and the Lakers lose 132-119 to the Spurs in LA. No Victor Wembanyama for the Spurs, which in a weird way may have made this game harder for the Lakers because it left San Antonio really with no strategy other than having their multitude of guards and wings push the pace constantly. And this led to the Lakers being on their heels defensively from start to finish in this game. The Spurs got to the line 36 times. They were running off makes. They were running off misses, pushing tempo. 30 points for Stefan Castle, 20 points for De'Aaron Fox. 3 guards and wings combined for 46 points off the bench for San Antonio. And other than Marcus Smart scoring 26 points and hitting 8 threes in his return from back spasms, not a lot to like for the Lakers in this game and plenty to go over before they play on Sunday against the Suns. For more Lakers coverage, make sure you're watching Locked On Lakers on YouTube and listening wherever you get your podcasts.
Tony, what did you see from the Lakers in this one?
Yeah, pathetic, like you said, pathetic protective the paint defense. I almost said paint defense, but everybody always naturally will go to like, oh, DeAndre Ayton. No, like keeping guys out of the paint. Like every part of paint defense was just awful. And the most obvious number to me that you see that in, especially if you watched the game, obviously, was the fouls. They just smacked them over and over because they got beat so bad. The only way to prevent giving up comically easy layups or shots was to foul. They fouled a bunch, 23 times to be exact, 5 from Luka, 5 from Reeves. They're obviously been awesome all-star level players this year, if not more in Luka's case, but their defense was bad, right? They got burned a lot in this game, and other guys had quite a few too, and a lot of those fouls were shooting fouls near the basket. So you get a bunch of free throws for basically every Spurs guard. Keldon Johnson takes 7, Stefan Castle takes 9, Luke Cornett takes 9. Everybody but Fox was living at the line, and that's where it was the most obvious to me that their defense was struggling. Of course, the Spurs were warm from deep, but they were creating those shots by getting in the paint, right? They've got to figure out a way to just like contain somebody, anybody. Their offense is obviously awesome, but if they can't get stops, they clearly will have a ceiling of the season.
And you look at the personnel on this roster, where is the point of attack defense, right? I think Luka's been somewhat better defensively this year. Austin Reeves has moments where he tries really hard. But yeah, they don't. Marcus Smart is the one guy. He's not that
Dude,
guy
not even
anymore.
Yeah.
Gabe Vincent is sort of billed as the point of attack defender. He's not really been that guy since joining the Lakers. Jared Vanderbilt is one of their better perimeter defenders, and he's not even in the rotation at this point because he's such a negative offensively. I don't really know, when you look at this roster, who is that point of attack defender. JJ Redick has done some interesting things this season in terms of trying to scheme things up, but when I watch this Lakers defense, Tony, it's lazy, man. It's lazy defense. It's not even it is the lack of point of attack defenders. It's the lack of personnel that you need, but also it's missing cutters. It's not putting your hands up. It's not boxing out. It's slow closeouts or no closeouts at all. It just kind of feels like this team throws its hands up and just says, well, we're never going to be a good defense, so we might as well just be the worst at it. I don't know. You could get to a certain level if you try really hard. And I guess I was just a little surprised in an NBA Cup game that they weren't putting that effort, because we've seen them put the effort in and we've seen the gear that this team can hit. Again, not elite defensively, but around league average. And when you have that league average defense with the big three that you have offensively, that is the formula for winning games. But there's too many times where they just don't hit that level defensively. And again, I was surprised that we didn't see that in this NBA Cup game.
Yeah. I wouldn't call them, they're not old as a team. LeBron obviously is, but the rest of the team isn't old, but they're just a little slow. Not even a little. Like they just feel very slow on defense, and their quick disruptory types are not good enough at other things to play, right? They're very one-dimensional kind of players. So if you put them out there, you sacrifice the thing that makes you great at the expense to help maybe your defense. So they're kind of limited in that way. And it's okay to have a lot of one-way players when you score 1 billion points a game, but then there will be nights like this where Reeves is a little off until the fourth quarter. I mean, really saying a little is kind of being kind to him. He was really off until the fourth quarter. And outside of Marcus Smart, like he said, no one else is really doing anything, where you can't keep up. They were down, 15-20 the entire second half because they couldn't stop anybody. And their offense wasn't good enough to get them back into it. So they've got to clean up this defense. The Spurs just torched them.
What did you see from the Spurs other than they got to the free throw line a lot? They obviously hit a bunch of threes. Do you want to start with De'Aaron Fox, who was a plus 21 in this game, hit the kind of the silencer at the end there, or Stefan Castle, who had 30 points and 10 rebounds and 6 assists in this one?
Yeah, I already talked on this podcast about how I was very wrong about Stefan Castle, so I could do that again. But, Fox is kind of the face of what's interesting about the Spurs right now. To me, he was, 20 points in this game. He was plus 21, but they're 8-2, 9-2 without Wemby now. Like what the heck is going on? Level of record
9-3 without Wemby, yeah, without
him. And they mentioned it during the game, and I was going to bring it up. So if you listen, you already know this, but their offensive rating without him has been better, and I don't think that's because of what I just said implies. Like, he has only played 123 minutes with Fox this year, and they've played a lot apart, like 300 plus minutes each. I think it's just the way the injury return, and when he was playing, he wasn't 100% at the start. He didn't look very good. And Castle obviously missed time, has like all coincided in a way that their best guard ball handlers, who are all awesome scorers this year. Fox and Castle have been great. Luke Cornett can't miss. Harrison Barnes is back to whipping in every shot he freaking takes. Like, that's all awesome. Dylan Harper looks good. They haven't had all those guys Wemby at the same time. So their offense has carried them to these wins without him, and their defense is like plus 10 when Wemby plays. They could be like terrific when he's back on the floor, and that's what's made them so good recently. They just score a ton.
Since we're both owning up to what we got wrong about this Spurs team, I was wrong about the depth. I just didn't think this team was deep enough to make a real run. I thought basically when Wemby either wasn't playing or was off the court, they were just going to lose those minutes by a bunch. And they're not, to your point, Tony. Like, they're not losing those minutes at all. And even in this game, in a game without Victor Wembanyama, where their depth is already tested, Luke Cornett has been awesome for them. And that is, amazing. I think everybody saw that coming. But he's been great. But even like the more stretch depth, they got 48 points off their bench in this one. I mean, what Keldon Johnson is doing for this team this season has been nothing short of important, right? Like 17 points off the bench, a bunch of those coming in the first quarter to help the Spurs kind of make that initial push to start pulling away in this one. Julian Champagnie, who's sort of been in and out of the starting lineup or off the bench, he's just been good no matter what role they put him in. Kelly Olynyk's been giving him some solid minutes. And again, when Wemby comes back, you move Cornett to the bench, and he's just another guy. This team's really deep. Devin Vassell, who's obviously in the starting lineup, didn't even have a good game tonight, but overall it feels like he's taken a little mini leap this year. And Stefan Castle is a legitimate guy. And we haven't mentioned Dylan Harper coming off the bench, and it wasn't even his most efficient night, but there's games where he looks like an absolute difference maker as sort of that sixth-man guy. So they're really deep. They're really good, and they're only going to get better when he comes back.
I usually think rookies just suck or like are going to stink. And Harper's like good.
Not this rookie class, though. That doesn't apply for the whole class.
Right. He's like legit good. They can put him out there and feel good about their rotation already. So when Vassell, who's had a rocky up and down year, I guess, like stinks, who cares? Great, Dylan Harper, go do it. No problem.
Well, now we know the matchups for the next round of the NBA Cup. We're going to take a look at those games after this. Today's episode of Locked On NBA Game Night is brought to you by ZocDoc. Guys, it's 2025, almost 2026, and those days of waiting for something to become a full-blown emergency before you see a doctor, they're over. No more walking it off for 6 months. No more pretending that weird shoulder stiffness is just sleeping wrong. It's time to take your health seriously, and ZocDoc makes that easier than ever. Because staying healthy is more than just hitting the gym or eating right. It's actually about getting things checked out when something feels off. Using ZocDoc makes scheduling easier. Search for an in-network doctors and book right in the app. Real appointment times are listed, including same-day visits. No more back-and-forth phone calls or waiting weeks to be seen. They're super helpful for routine checkups and those little issues that you've been meaning to get checked out. They let you compare providers using real patient reviews, not ads, and it makes it simple to keep your health a priority even when you have a busy schedule. Look, I've been using it to schedule appointments quickly when I didn't want to wait for weeks. I didn't want to get on the phone with people and go back and forth. You just go on the online portal. You figure out when you want your appointment. You schedule it, and you go. It's that simple. So stop putting off your doctor's appointments and get the care that you need. Go to ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA to find an instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc, ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA. ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA. And we're back. Locked On NBA Game Night. Thanks for tuning in. If you're joining the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on your podcast app. Tony, we know the Final Four of the NBA Cup now. Let's start in the Eastern Conference. Knicks versus Magic. What are you watching for in this one?
Can we warn these teams first, Wes? I have to say this. The NBA Cup champions so far, the Lakers and Bucks, lost in the playoffs in the first round. But the runners-up, the Pacers and Thunder, have had quite successful seasons. So the goal for everybody is second place. Make the title game, coast it out, call it a day. The East is going to be a blast. I love all of this. But I like that this bracket is two teams that everybody thought could be finals contenders and two, like, here they come kind of teams. In Orlando, no Franz is going to stink, but they've finally found their identity, and they played well-ish against the Knicks in the game that Franz did get hurt. That I said they can be competitive still because they finally are back to that defense that we all have come to know about this Magic team. And Desmond Bane is liable to do what you saw him do against the Heat and just occasionally have these games where he is the Magic offense. He had 36, 37 in that game. He was going crazy. And so I'm curious if their defense can keep them in it, because they're going to be, Banchero back at recovering, whatever. But without Franz, their offense is going to be tougher. Do they have enough there? Because their defense is legitimately good enough, and it's been good enough even against this Knicks team that's been a little wobbly. So I'll be curious if their identity can hold out there.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, can Karl-Anthony Towns space out Orlando's paint defense? That to me is one of the initial battlegrounds of this Knicks Magic matchup. And then after that, I think you have some really interesting one-on-one matchups. Jalen Suggs versus Jalen Brunson. That's always fun. OG Anunoby against Paolo Banchero, two physical forwards kind of going toe-to-toe there. And then for the Knicks, again, it's sort of related to the Cat point, but overall, their three-point shooting volume, does that create enough of an edge against the Orlando Magic? If the Knicks offense just comes out and is firing on 80% of their cylinders, it feels like they should win this one.
I agree.
But the Magic's defense is really good, and they might just not let that happen. I think it'll be the Knicks finesse game versus the Magic's physical type of ground and pound game. And whichever team can kind of set the tone early, styles make fights, and I think that team will win.
And it's the boring thing, right? Where like you can have a great defense, and then Jalen Brunson's just like, great, I'm going to pound the ball and get into the paint and hit these 8-footers all night, and you lose. And like he just did that with Orlando before, right? Yes. So we can talk about all these, and we should talk about all these fun matchups. And I love the identity of the Magic. And like, hey, Jalen Brunson's amazing, guys. Like it might just be that kind of game. Thunder
versus Spurs could be Victor Wembanyama's return. Obviously, that would be a big part of this one.
I am begging. Dude, even beyond the fact that these two teams are both awesome, Wemby Chet is just like, how are these dudes perimeter players? They're huge.
What is that? What is that the modern version of? When did we have two centers drafted roughly around the same time, roughly the same age, kind of ascending at the same time? Like, is it? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of the last time we had two big men. Just like, is it like? I mean, we had Jokic and Embiid for a while, but like they weren't in the same conference and they barely ever played against each other. So this is a fascinating matchup, those two guys. It's always must-watch TV when it's Wemby versus Chet. I'm with you. I'm begging Wemby to play. Look, he was considered potentially available to play in this game. He didn't, obviously. So I do think that he'll play with the days off that they're going to get here. I'm at least hopeful that he's going to play. But yeah, I mean, it's going to take Victor Wembanyama and everybody else all 10 toes down to beat this Thunder.
Good luck. Yeah, I mean, we just did this, right? The Spurs offense, all right, good. You guys are playing great. You got the tall guy back, maybe. Good luck. Do you see that opponent?
I mean, and we saw let's remember what teams were doing against Wemby before he got hurt, right? They were putting wings on him, smaller wings,
guards and wings, yeah.
And who's got a bunch of those kinds of fire hydrant guards to put on Victor Wembanyama? The Thunder. They have like 8 of them. It feels like that they could just throw at Victor Wembanyama. Not to mention all of the other stuff that they could do to limit the transition opportunities and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, the Thunder are going to be favored in this game. If they dial it up defensively to where they need to go, they're probably going to win this game. But then again, if Victor Wembanyama is just this transcendent guy who looks like he did opening night against Dallas, where there was just literally nothing you could do against him, maybe that's enough. I mean, I really want him to play because this could be like the ultimate. He doesn't need a coming out party, but it could be something like that for him.
I feel like he is no one can stop Shai. You can't guard Shai. You can't. He's too crafty. He's too good at changing direction and balance and speed and all these things that no one else can, right? Mm-hmm. But if you have a 7'7" player who can jump really high, maybe you can actually kind of at least right.
I mean, yeah.
And I want to see that. Can he disrupt him at all? Is this actually the only way to make the Thunder's half-court offense be like average instead of pretty good? Because that's how you have a chance. No, not enough teams have been able to actually do it, but that's how you have a chance.
The Thunder perimeter defenders swarming San Antonio's young guards, Castle and Harper. That could be something that they smell blood in the water. So that's going to needs to be a really good De'Aaron and Fox game.
Yeah.
Easier said than done against this Thunder defense. Predictions?
Every year the one spunky team just flames out completely. The Pelicans made it the first year and looked terrible against the Lakers. The Hawks last year, congrats, you made it. You looked bad against the Bucks. I think it's going to be the Magic, unfortunately, without Franz. So I think the Knicks handle Orlando, and I'll just do it's going to be the potential finals in Vegas. So I'll say Thunder. Knicks is our final game.
That would be fascinating to get a matchup that a lot of people are picking for the finals in the finals of the NBA Cup. It's kind of the best case scenario for the Cup. At the same time, you're right about everything. We always also kind of end up with one established team with like a real
Thunder
MVP
weren't
kind of
established
guy
last year. That is true. Yeah.
versus an up and coming team in the final. So I'm going to go Thunder Magic. I think the Magic just out-muscle the Knicks, get things playing on their terms, and they just sort of bully the Knicks out of the NBA Cup. And we end up with Thunder Magic in the final, and then the Thunder just blow by them by like 30 points or something.
The only thing I'm rooting for the Magic is Paolo to just go off and be like, everybody who says this team's better without me, just like, can you shut up for a month? Like, please be quiet for a little bit.
That wraps up Locked On NBA Game Night. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. For Tony East, I'm Wes Goldberg. This has been Game Night. Thanks for hanging out with us.